Hello, this is Cho of the Shiny Colors Discord, and welcome to another episode of the Shiny Review. Today we're going to be talking about the latest banner and event card. We only have 3 today, so hopefully this video should go pretty quickly. We have the new P-SSR4 Hiori, as well as S-SSR2 Asahi, and P-SR3 Sakuya. Starting things off, we have Hiori. If you watch the Meguru 4 review, which you can see up there at the top right, this is more or less the exact same card, except with a dance visual flavor instead of vocal dance. Hiori 1 has been replaced effectively, so you will probably see this card pop up from time to time in different Illumination Stars setup. Hiori has simple and effective passives, appeals that are very similar to Hiori 1, but with slightly more emphasis on dance or visual, with much better stat uncaps. There's really nothing to hate about this Hiori, and her value to you will depend on how interested you are in running Illumination Stars in Grade Fest. Her roles are Buffer, Dual Attacker, and Center. So what does she do? Her initial skill is a Dance 2.5 appeal that also has a Visual 1.5 appeal attached to it, and links into a Dance Visual 40% buff for 5 turns. At max, this becomes a Visual 4.0 with a Dance 2.0 appeal, and links into another Dance Visual 40% buff for 5 turns. As for her other skills, at 1 star she unlocks a Dance 30% buff if you have an active visual buff, 20% chance to activate twice. For 2 stars, a Visual 60% buff if you have an active dance buff, 20% chance to activate twice. Her uncap at 3 star is a Dance Visual plus 100, and her 4 star is also an uncap of Visual at 100. Her memory appeal when maxed out is a Dance Visual 1.0 appeal that links into an additional Dance Visual 1.0 appeal. For recommended supports, while Hiori 4 may lack all the key pieces that Meguru 4 or Mono 4 have access to, Hiori has the benefit of being able to use 2 of the strongest supports in the game, and they benefit both of her main stats. Go all in on Dance Visual, focusing on whichever stat you feel most comfortable with. Seek out those gold passives, and you'll probably find success. So you can see, of course, we have limited mono, including Sakuramochi Master Chiyoko, we have Wanderlust Mamimi, as well as Christmas Yuika, as well as some other cards here and there. Overall, a very appreciative lineup for a card like this. As for the recommended teammates, we're just going to use Mono 4 as a base. The Ultimate Illumination Stars team has only grown stronger with the introduction of new Hiori. As it stands right now, you can also opt to have Hiori as a center if you trade some units around. It's very similar to Meguru in that regard, where Hiori is fine enough as a center, but Mono 4 is so strong right now, and Mono 4 has used Hiori 1 on basically every team comp anyway, so including Hiori 4 doesn't seem like that bad of an option. Overall, Hiori gets an S+ across the board. Considering that Hiori 4 is just Meguru 4 with a new coat of paint, her earning S+ doesn't feel all that surprising, right? She's very serviceable for her memory appeal for those who have been using Hiori 1, which is, in fact, a straight upgrade. Again, like Meguru, this card could be double S as a center, but time will tell, really. I think it's hard to necessarily say that because we don't have the numbers just yet as to how much this Hiori is being used, and I don't want to necessarily just hand out double S to everybody who has a strong enough memory appeal, because it will also factor into how much they're actually being used as a center. So we'll see. Could be double S, but I think S+ is pretty safe. And again, as a unit, S+. Being a direct upgrade to Hiori 1 will earn that S+. There's really no downside to this Hiori unless you really just don't want to rebuild your Illumination Stars team. Losing out on the mix buff might feel bad, but it should be okay. Hiori is another great candidate for re-rollers looking to start Grade Fest off right. And now we have Asahi. Asahi's proper gacha SSR support, continuing the trend of playing off older cards in this banner. She's a dance version of the initial SSR Fuyuko support, who is visual, who for all intents and purposes replaces every Asahi support in dance builds, since they all manage to be dance cards. Her 4-star appeal will most likely be very useful for Stray Light, and the gold passive along with her masteries will make her worth a copy or 3. Her skills are Idol's Bond, as well as Dance Mastery Dent, which reaches plus 13 at level 70, Promise Recovery, Rest Boost, and Dance Mastery SP, which reaches plus 16 at level 75. And her TFD idea is Appeal. For her passives and skill, her 1-star passive is a 21% dance buff if your team includes Asahi, 30% chance to activate once. Her 2-star passive, which is by far one of the most important aspects, is a dance 45% buff as long as you have an active dance buff, 30% chance to activate once. Her uncap is a dance plus 100, and her 4-star appeal is a dance 3.0 that has a vocal dance visual 7% buff for 5 turns, followed up with a dance 5% buff for 10 turns. She gets an S. Honestly, her 2-star passive might be among one of the better in the game. Not every team cares extensively about active buffs, but dance teams can certainly find a way to include a free 45% just for playing their usual way. There's nothing really wrong with Asahi, and she's definitely one of the better permanent cards in the pool at this point in time. And now we have our event, Sakuya. Sakuya's latest SR is somewhat interesting to talk about. Besides the fact that the art is gorgeous and has put many artists to work, Sakuya appears as a vocal dance stall unit for people looking to play way more defensively than usual. It's not too often you get a card that allows you to reduce how much damage judges deal to rivals or yourself. That being said, it's hard to completely justify running new Sakuya in most teams, especially for the team that could probably use this card the most, because she's not exactly a better center than Dance Sakuya. There's certainly room for experimentation with this card, so hopefully she finds success with you at the helm. Her roles are Staller, Debuffer, and Healer. Sakuya's initial skill is a vocal 1.5 appeal that reduces the judge's influence by 10% for 3 turns. The easiest way to think of judge influence is like an attack stat, so you're reducing the judge's attack by 10%, and how much damage they deal to a rival or to yourself. And it links into an attention 30% down on yourself for 3 turns. At max, the skill becomes a Dance 2.0 appeal that reduces the judge's influence by 30% for 3 turns. And it links into, again, attention 30% down on yourself for 3 turns. It is worth noting that this is a single target skill, so you can't reduce all the judge's attack, so you have to plan carefully to think of which judge might attack you on the following turn. For her passives, at 1 star she unlocks a vocal 12% buff. If your mental is 75% or lower, 40% chance to activate once. Her 2 star is a dance 25% up if it is turn 6 or later, and has a 40% chance to activate once. Her uncap is a dance of plus 50, and her memory appeal at max is a mental heal of 20%, and then links into a judge influence of 20% down for 5 turns. For recommended supports, play up the strengths of Sakuya. Find appeals and passives that benefit a slower and more defensive playstyle, while also finding ways to help support other units in your team. While I don't have a team comp quite in mind for this Sakuya today, cards like Kiriko 4 or Yuika 3 come to mind as ideal partners. So maybe you'll see the Sakuya ran on teams with cards like Mamimi 3 at the helm. Who knows? Hopefully that ends up being the case. Overall, Sakuya gets a C as a center. I don't really know what else to say. The heal manages to be somewhat okay, but it plays against most of Antika's strengths. Maybe if we start seeing the rise of mixed team comps again, this could maybe see play, but I'd probably recommend against it. And as a unit, she gets a B+. Reducing incoming damage from a judge of your choice by 30% is honestly no joke, especially as we get more and more special fests with alternative rules. I don't think she ends up taking the place of many Sakuya cards that persist in the current state of the game, but she might become more useful as time progresses. Maybe she'll be another Collabofest contender. I do see the potential of reducing incoming damage by 30%, so we might see this card show up a lot more often if Collabofest comes back around anytime soon. And that's the end of the video. Thank you so much as always for watching. We'll be back again next time to bring you whatever info we have on whatever the next banner may be. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and share it around if you have the opportunity to. So, till next time, I've been Sho, thanks for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day.